What's up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed watching me summit the tallest mountain in New Mexico, Wheeler Peak. This next section is going to be more of an educational breakdown of me going through the hike. So for those of you who plan on doing this hike in the future, we'll be more prepared. Let's get in. So I did this hike on July 9th, 2021 and parked at the Williams Lake trailhead, which is going to be right about here. You do have to go up this steep, windy dirt road. The dirt's pretty compact and my van did make it up, but it was a little bumpy, so just keep that in mind for whichever vehicle you plan on taking. As you can see, it's not that big of a parking area. I pulled in around 9 o'clock in the morning and it was already full, so I had to park over here on the side. Facility wise, you have a couple of porta potties that were in the parking lot, but there is also this little restaurant right about here that they might have some restrooms that are a little nicer, but I'm not 100% sure since I didn't actually go check it out. So I left the van at about 9:24 in the morning at an elevation of 10,217 feet, and I started walking along this trail right here. And since we are in the Taos Ski Valley area, you do walk past the ski lift, which is right here. The trail is super well defined with a lot of signage. You're following the signs for the Williams Lake Trail, which is about 2.2 miles from the parking lot. And then Wheeler Peak is going to be about another 2 miles past that at 4.2 miles to the summit. So yeah, just keep following this trail and eventually you'll get to this part right around here where you're going to turn left. And there's going to be a little wooden bridge. You're going to be in the forest area. It's going to be super pretty. There's a stream running along the left side of you, which just makes it nice and relaxing. Forest section isn't too steep. It's got a decent grade to it, but nothing crazy. It's going to get a lot steeper the farther along the trail you go. But yeah, just follow this section of just switchbacks, and once you get to these clearings right about here, you want to stop and pay attention. Both these clearings are just a bunch of loose scree rocks. You can't miss them, but just make sure you're paying attention because right about here, there's a fork in the road. So if you follow the trail straight, as you can see, you're going to end up at Williams Lake. But what you want to do to get to the summit is you want to take this quick 180-degree left turn. It's super easy to miss, so just make sure you're paying attention as you walk through that second clearing. You're looking for this sign that says Wheeler Peak this way. I got to this fork in the road about 10:25 in the morning, so a little after an hour after I crossed the bridge. And once you turn left, it's going to get a little steeper. You'll still be in the trees, so just keep walking and following the trail all the way to the top. At an elevation about 11,480 feet is when you'll eventually break out of the tree line right around here. And then once you break out of the trees, it's going to get a lot more challenging from here. It's going to get steeper. You're not going to be in the trees anymore, so you have no more protection from the sun. It's going to get a little bit hotter, so just get ready for the challenge. Funny thing actually happened when I was breaking out of the tree line. I was being stupid and I dropped my GoPro down this cliff edge and it fell down like 15 feet. Luckily there was this big boulder that stopped the GoPro from falling farther. But yeah, after I climbed down and grabbed it and came back up, there was this old 65-year-old man who was coming down the mountain and asked if I was alright. I was, and we just started talking for a little bit. And he said that he started the hike at 7:05 that morning. I'm talking to him around 10:53. So based on the math, he was expecting about a 4.5 hour round trip. So hats off to him for pushing through that fast because that's about the time I end up doing this hiking at the end of it. But because of that, I made sure to go a little faster because I didn't want him to beat me because that would have been a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, anyways, so you break through the tree line and you're going to be following this path up through here. And right about here is this first scree section that you're going to be walking through. It's just a bunch of loose rocks. I hit this section at about 11:34 in the morning at an elevation of 12,051 feet. At this point, you pretty much only have another mile or so to go, but you still have a little bit less than 1,000 feet to climb, so it's about to get a lot steeper. Just keep on the path, and then right about here, you're going to go through the second scree section, and this one's a lot longer. Just take your time, go slow, and make sure you don't trip or twist your ankle. Halfway through this scree section, I met another guy, and he said I had about another hard 45 minutes to the summit, which at that pace, I would have been at the summit around 12:30 in the afternoon. He said I still had this one last big section of switchbacks to go through, and then once you get to the ridge line right around here, you're going to have to turn right and then go back the other way to the summit over here. So yeah, I just kept on pushing at that point because I didn't want to get to the summit too late. Around this time, I could see a storm was starting to roll in. The clouds were getting darker, the temperature was dropping, and I did not want to get up to the summit when the storm came. That's why in the cinematic walking shots earlier in this video, it goes from super sunny to dark and stormy, like in one clip. I basically stopped filming for the last hour of this hike, so I could just focus on hiking and getting to the summit at a decent time before it became unsafe. In this section right around here, about 12:09, I started feeling a couple of raindrops on my head, but I could see the summit right there, and I was like, well, I'm already here, so was an extra few minutes to go over there, and then I can head back down. Figured I could deal with getting a little wet. So I pushed through and eventually made it to the top of New Mexico at 12:17 in the afternoon at an elevation of 12,924 feet. But there were so many storms all the way around, 360 degrees. You could see dark clouds, rain falling in the distance, thunder rolling, and I did not stay up there long. I took my quick pictures and was only up there for 7 minutes on the top and then bolted back down the mountain. I was not going to get stuck in the storm. And yeah, so I got back down to the tree line at 1:01 in the afternoon, making good progress. And based on the math and time calculations, I was on a faster pace than that old man, so no big deal. I was booking it on the way back down. I decided to skip Williams Lake this go around. I was on a mission to beat this storm, and I wasn't going to stop to see the small mountain lake that I had seen before when I first hiked this mountain a few years ago. But I suggest if you aren't racing a storm faster than Dominic Toretto going to a family meeting, I highly recommend taking a break and enjoying the views. It's nice and pretty there. So yeah, I just kept on going, moving as fast as possible. My foot actually was killing me throughout this whole hike. I think wearing my barefoot shoes and doing the Texas High Point and New Mexico High Point back to back 2 days in a row, I think I strained my foot, so it really was hurting on the way back down. But I pushed through. I mean, I couldn't quit. There's only one way down at that point. And at 1:49 in the afternoon, I finally crossed the bridge again and made it back to my van at 1:56 in the afternoon for a total hiking time of 4 hours and 32 minutes, all while staying decently dry, minus a few drops here and there. Overall, I just want to say that New Mexico's High Point is a fun and challenging hike, offering great views and scenery. Just remember that this area is known for afternoon thunderstorms. So if you ever do this hike, just make sure to start the hike in the early afternoon so you're not having to try and race the clock and not get stuck in a thunderstorm. Just start the hike earlier than I did and you'll be fine. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure that you are subscribed so I can help you with your future adventures. See you in the next one. Later.